Imagine you're walking along a narrow plank lying on solid ground. Easy, right? Now picture that same plank stretched between the rooftops of two towering buildings. Suddenly your legs start shaking, your heart races, and each step feels impossibly risky. Why did this happen? The plank is the same, yet your fear skyrockets. In the philosophy of reality transurfing, this is a prime example of excess potential at work, energy we ourselves create by attributing too much importance to a particular event. Welcome to our deep dive into balance, the fourth chapter of the Transurfing Reality series. In this video, we'll explore why nature so fiercely protects equilibrium, how our own mindsets can sabotage success, and how to reduce mental and emotional excess potential that leads to unnecessary conflict. If you've ever felt like you were on a never-ending emotional roller coaster, one moment flying high, the next moment crashing hard, this chapter promises insights on how to shift from endless struggle to a more balanced, fulfilling life. The law of balance. In transurfing, balance is more than just a nice word. It's seen as the core law of the universe. Whenever we push too hard or cling too desperately, we create an energetic distortion, and nature steps in with balanced forces to restore equilibrium. This is why sometimes, despite our best intentions, events can swing in the exact opposite direction. Example, you land a great new job and start putting in 14-hour days, convinced you must give 200 to prove your worth. But soon you're exhausted, making silly mistakes, perhaps even getting ill. That's equilibrium at work. You praised your job as the be-all and end-all. Now balanced forces push back. Instead of rising to the top, you're stuck in burnout. Key takeaway: the universe doesn't punish us for caring, it simply corrects whatever is off balance. When you replace joyful enthusiasm with anxious obsession, you risk triggering the pushback of balanced forces. Excess potential and importance. Transurfing teaches that excess potential emerges whenever we inflate the importance of something. Importance can be inner overestimating or underestimating ourselves, or outer overhyping or demonizing events, objects, and other people. Inner importance: believing you're the smartest, greatest, or on the flip side, feeling constant self-hatred and insecurity. Both extremes create an energetic imbalance. Example, a performer who thinks, "I'm a genius, no one compares," might sabotage themselves through arrogance. Another performer who thinks him worthless also invites negative outcomes. Outer importance: overvaluing or fearing something external, like that wooden plank between high buildings. The bigger your anxiety, the heavier the energetic load. Example, if you insist that a particular meeting, interview, or exam is life or death, you become so tense that you often underperform, ironically sinking your big chance. In both cases, excessive importance sets a trap. Nature's balancing forces deflate that intensity. Sometimes deflation is gentle, like a small embarrassment. Other times it's dramatic, like a catastrophic failure that forces you to relax or switch paths entirely. How balanced forces show up. Balanced forces can appear benign or hostile, depending on your perspective. Gentle nudges, minor inconveniences, such as stumbling, forgetting your notes, receiving constructive criticism. Major collisions, dramatic health issues, sudden financial problems, lost relationships, or public humiliations. Transurfing insists these events aren't personal. The universe isn't punishing or rewarding you, it's simply rebalancing. The deeper your sense of "I absolutely must have this," the harsher the potential correction if things get out of hand. For common traps of imbalance, let's look at how different emotional states and mindsets create excess importance, leading to trouble. 4. 1. Resentment and judgment. When you judge yourself too harshly, you spark inner conflict between heart and mind, leaving you exhausted and prone to depression. When you judge the world around you, from neighbors to colleagues, you create friction that often brings more problems. Inner criticism. "I'm so useless, I can never get this right." Outcome. Balanced forces intensify feelings of helplessness, or ironically push you into more situations that expose your self-doubt. Outer criticism. "All these idiots on the road can't drive." Outcome. An uptick in road rage, minor accidents, or people genuinely driving poorly around you, mirroring your negative energy. Solution. Recognize negative feelings as a sign you're projecting too much importance. Release the need to condemn or beat yourself up. Instead, gently shift focus to helpful, constructive action. Love turned dependent. Genuine love is admiration without the need to possess. However, romantic feelings often lead to possession, jealousy, and conditional expressions like, "If you love me, you'll do this." That's a classic sign of elevated importance. Unrequited love. If you obsess, "I need this person to love me or my life is meaningless," you create massive potential. Balanced forces can respond by pushing that person away even further. Jealousy. The more you cling, the more tension you create, which can destroy the relationship you're trying to protect. Solution. Love freely without claiming ownership. If that's not possible, at least reduce the emotional stakes. Recognize that overblown passion or jealousy only drives things apart. Contempt and arrogance. Scorning other people, be they co-workers, strangers, or entire groups, sparks a hidden boomerang effect. Balanced forces easily counter, often by placing you in a predicament that mirrors the exact thing you ridiculed. Similarly, believing you're superior fosters resentment and sets you up for a fall. Contempt. "Ugh, homeless people disgust me." Possible reaction. A streak of bad luck where you face severe financial stress or find yourself in a humiliating situation. Vanity. "I'm clearly better than everyone else in this department." Possible reaction. A big public slip-up that humiliates you or someone, overshadowing your achievements. Solution. Stay grounded. Recognize your strengths without turning them into a measuring stick against others. If you catch yourself belittling or sneering, consciously dial back your negative energy before balanced forces show up with a reality check. Obsessive desire. Wanting something too much can become a curse, especially if that desire transforms into frantic obsession or fear of not getting it. Example: students cramming desperately for an exam sometimes fail while calmer classmates pass easily. Another example: people convinced they must land a specific job. They show up overly tense, sweaty, and anxious in the interview, inadvertently sabotaging themselves. Solution: drop the stake of life or death importance. Of course, you can still want something, but want it calmly, like you would choose a meal from a menu, confidently, but not hysterically. Let go of the frantic energy. Money and attachments. Money is notorious for prompting inflated importance. Many believe, without X amount in my bank account, I can't be happy. This mind trap fosters anxiety and ironically keeps wealth at bay. Pendulum trap. Society, corporations, or organizations push the myth money success, distracting you from your true goals or deeper purpose. You waste years chasing money for money's sake, never discovering personal fulfillment. Flow, when money is simply a tool that supports your genuine aspirations, it tends to flow more easily. Worry and greed hamper the process. Solution: respect money, but don't worship it. Spend responsibly, yet not anxiously. Let finances be secondary to the real passions and goals that genuinely inspire you. Reducing importance, practical tips. How do you cut back on inflated importance without becoming apathetic or emotionally numb? Transurfing suggests a few steps. Identify the trigger. Catch yourself in moments of stress or worry. Ask, am I blowing this out of proportion? Be your own observer. Keep an inner guardian on standby to monitor your reactions. Introduce a safety net. If you feel like your entire future depends on a single outcome, create alternatives. Example: if a job interview feels do or die, line up a backup plan. This plan B instantly lowers the stakes in your mind, easing tension. Shift your focus to the process while performing an action, e.g., studying, preparing a presentation, or practicing a skill. Concentrate on the act itself, not the end result or your self-image. A dancer engrossed in the music doesn't worry about the audience's reaction. Replace negative habits. If you constantly resent or criticize, flip it around. Look for small positives or amusements in difficult situations. Over time, it becomes a habit to see opportunities instead of obstacles. If you brood or fret, distract yourself with constructive tasks or uplifting thoughts rather than letting that mental tape run on loop. Own your life without apology. Let go of guilt or the feeling that I'm always to blame. Guilt is a magnet for balanced forces that bring punishment. Accept your quirks and missteps. Move on swiftly rather than marinating in remorse. The irony of fighting balance. Trying too hard to maintain balance can become yet another obsession. Imagine someone who anxiously tracks every micro-emotion, paranoid about causing an imbalance. In reality, this is just another form of importance. Balance is meant to be a natural byproduct of conscious living, not a forced regimen. Example: a perfectionist says, I must be 100 balanced or else, ironically creating the very friction they're trying to avoid. Solution: practice these principles gently, keep them in mind, but don't treat them like rigid laws. You're allowed minor ups and downs. The real target is releasing major obsession, guilt, or inflated self-images. Embracing the guest mindset. Transurfing often frames human existence as an experience of being a guest in a vast universe. We're free to wonder, enjoy, and choose, but the moment we declare ourselves masters entitled to shape everything according to our will, we invite conflict. A guest moves around politely, observes, and decides which exhibits to admire and which to ignore. A dictator demands everything operate on their own terms. Balanced forces swiftly respond, either thwarting them at every step or isolating them from true freedom. Adopt the guest's stance, confident but respectful, engaged but not controlling. This vantage point keeps you flexible and open to the wide array of possibilities life can offer. What if life doesn't have to feel like a never-ending fight? What if each catastrophe or triumph isn't personal but simply an effect of how much importance we've assigned it? According to Transurfing, we can relinquish the very illusions that lead to constant seesaws of emotion. By learning to lower exaggerated stakes, whether it's about money, relationships, achievements, or self-image, we step into a smoother, more consistent flow. Remember, balanced forces don't reward or punish, they just flatten energy imbalances. When you remove the tension inner or outer, the world stops slapping you back. You can then focus on genuine goals that spark joy, letting the universe align with your authentic desires rather than forced illusions or anxieties. Reflect on an area in your life where you feel trapped by life or death stakes. Ask yourself, am I magnifying its importance? Experiment with letting go, maybe by introducing a backup plan or by celebrating small daily wins instead of fixating on the grand prize. Share your experience in the comments. Have you ever felt everything magically improve when you stopped worrying so much? Let's discuss how dropping excess potential has reshaped your journey. If you enjoyed this exploration into Transurfing Reality's chapter on balance, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We'll continue diving deeper into the art of living with ease, so you can gently shift from a life of anxious battles to one of liberating flow. Thank you for watching, and remember, you hold the freedom to choose your own destiny simply by releasing the burden of misplaced importance. Let life become more effortless, and watch balance transform your reality.